You never expect the people you love the most to be the ones who destroy you. But that's exactly what happened to me. Not by a stranger, not by someone from the past, by my boyfriend and my best friend. I wish I could say I saw it coming, but I didn't. Not even close. If anything, my life felt stable, comfortable, the kind of peace that makes you stop questioning things. I'd been with Mathos for 3 years. He wasn't flashy or overly romantic, but he showed up. Always. He remembered my dentist appointments, texted my mom on her birthday, made sure my car had gas before long drives. He felt safe. And after the chaos I'd lived before him, safe felt like everything. Then there was Larissa, my best friend since we were 13. The wild one. The loud laugh at the party. The one who told off my ex when I didn't have the strength. She was a little reckless. A little dramatic, but fiercely loyal. Or so I thought. We were inseparable. She knew my passwords, my parents, my past. She had a toothbrush at my place even though she had her own apartment. So when I started traveling more for work, it felt natural to leave her a key. She'd feed my cat, water my plants, crash on the couch sometimes if she was too tired to drive home after a night out. It felt safe, familiar, like family. Until the day I forgot something. I had a last-minute presentation in another city. I packed in a rush, left in a rush, and was halfway to the airport when I realized I'd left my laptop charger. I wasn't even supposed to be in town. Nobody expected me back, but I turned around. It was 10:43 in the morning on a Thursday. I remember the time because I glanced at the clock as I pulled into my driveway confused. There was a car in my garage, Mathos's car. At first, I thought maybe he'd come to surprise me. Maybe he'd realized I forgot something too, and was waiting to bring it. But then I remembered I hadn't told him I was coming back, and he wasn't answering my texts. My stomach dropped. I parked across the street and walked up quietly, trying not to make any noise. I wish I could say I hesitated, that some part of me wanted to believe the best, but I'd already seen too many little things piling up over the last few months. The way Mathos started locking his phone. The way Larissa stopped talking about her love life completely. The weird tension in the air when I mentioned one to the other. I just didn't want to believe it. Until that moment. I unlocked the door slowly, heart pounding. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Shoes by the couch, his jacket, a coffee mug too, actually still warm. I walked down the hallway, and I heard it. Laughter. Her laugh. From my bedroom. I can't explain what happened inside me. Something just snapped. I didn't kick the door open. I didn't scream. I turned around, walked out, sat in my car, and stared at the steering wheel for what felt like hours. That was the moment something in me shut off. Because it wasn't just betrayal. It was calculated, cozy, repeated. She was using my bed, with him, while feeding my cat and sleeping in my clothes. And I started wondering, how long, how many times, and what kind of woman smiles in your face while stealing your world behind your back? I didn't cry. Not then. But something told me, they'd never see me coming. The worst part of betrayal isn't what they do to you. It's how they make you feel stupid for not seeing it sooner. I spent the rest of that day in my car. Didn't go back in. Didn't call anyone. I just sat there, heart racing, hands shaking, mind spinning. I kept replaying the last few weeks. Every girls' night Larissa canceled last minute. Every time Mathers worked late but came home without a trace of exhaustion. And then the weirdest thing hit me. They didn't even hide that well. I just trusted too hard. Believed too easily. That night, I checked into a hotel. Didn't say a word to either of them. They probably thought I was still out of town. I laid on that hotel bed staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. How long had they been doing this? Was it just sex? Or had it gone deeper? I opened my messages with both of them. Started scrolling. I noticed little overlaps. Dates that matched. Words they both used. Same inside jokes. Same emojis. It felt like a map I was suddenly learning how to read, but the destination was always me, being played. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I went back to my place around AM. Hoping they were gone. They were. I stepped into my apartment like it was a crime scene. Because in a way, it was. Everything looked normal. But nothing felt real. Her toothbrush was still in the bathroom. A bobby pin on my nightstand. One of Mathers' socks under the bed, not even my bed anymore apparently. I took pictures of everything. Not because I planned to use them, but because I needed proof for myself. Proof that I wasn't crazy. That this happened. That I wasn't imagining the worst out of nowhere. I didn't cry. Not yet. Instead, I made coffee, sat at my kitchen counter, and started writing. Every detail I remembered. Every lie that made sense now. Every little red flag I ignored. And when I got to the bottom of the page, I wrote one sentence in bold. They think I'm weak. They forgot who taught me how to survive. Because if they were capable of looking me in the eye, both of them, and lying with that much ease, then they were capable of a whole lot more. I didn't want revenge. Not yet. But I wanted the truth. All of it. And I knew exactly where I had to start. Larissa's phone. The thing about betrayal is, it makes you pay attention to everything. Their patterns, their habits, their blind spots. And Larissa had one big blind spot. She never changed her passwords. We used to laugh about it, how she used the same four-digit code for everything. So predictable it became a running joke between us. Now, it was my leverage. That same night, I logged into her old iCloud from my laptop. She'd borrowed it once to upload photos from a trip we took together. She never logged out. And there it was. Messages, backups, voice memos. It was like walking into a diary she didn't know was still open. At first, I didn't even look for Matthews. I just typed my name into her messages, and what I found made my skin crawl. Screenshots of our conversations, photos of my apartment, my bedroom with captions like, "She still has no idea. This is getting too easy." One voice note. She was laughing, saying I was too trusting to ever suspect anything. She actually told me she wants to marry him. Can you imagine? It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the enjoyment. They weren't just hiding, they were bonding over it. Turning my life into some twisted little game. But it got worse, because then I searched for Matthews' name. And that's when I realized they'd started sleeping together almost a year ago. It began as a mistake. They both felt guilty. They promised it wouldn't happen again. And then it did. Over and over. Trips, weekends I thought he was with friends. Nights she said she was out with a guy she met on Tinder. All of it coordinated. She even sent him pictures from my own closet, wearing my clothes, calling it the girlfriend experience. I couldn't breathe, but I didn't slam my laptop shut. Didn't throw anything. I kept scrolling, and then I saw something that made me sit up straight. She sent him a message 2 days ago. She's traveling again. Think we have time to try the other room this time? They were mocking me in my own space. And still I didn't cry, because something stronger was building inside me. Focus, clarity, rage. Yes, but cold. Controlled. I took screenshots. Hundreds. Backed them up. Created a folder. Labeled it insurance. Because now, I wasn't just the girl they betrayed. I was the one who knew everything. And they had no idea. I didn't rush. That was the key. People like them expect one of two reactions. Screaming, or silence. They never expect strategy. So I gave them silence. But not the kind that means defeat, the kind that means preparation. For the next 3 days, I acted normal. Posted photos from my trip. Replied to texts. Even laughed at Larissa's fake check-ins. "Miss you already. Let's do a wine night when you're back," I almost replied. Sure. Should I wash the sheets first? But I didn't. Because I needed one last thing before I made my move. Time. Time to get everything in place. I printed the screenshots. Every message. Every photo. Every little inside joke they shared about me behind my back. I didn't want digital proof. I wanted paper. Something I could hold. Deliver. Drop like a bomb. Then, I did something that still makes me smile. I booked a dinner, a private celebration supposedly for Matthews' birthday. Invited a few of our closest friends, said it was my treat. Made it sound loving, thoughtful, the kind of thing a good girlfriend would plan. Even invited Larissa. She texted back in all caps. "Yes, I'm in." Of course she was. The day of the dinner, I played my part. Makeup done, dress perfect, smile in place. When we got to the restaurant, everyone was already their friends who'd known us as a couple for years. They cheered. We sat, ordered wine. I waited until after dessert. Then I stood up and said, "I have something special for you both. A memory. Let's call it." And I handed them the folder. 2 copies. One for each. Larissa laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. Matthews looked confused, until they opened it. I watched their faces shift. First pale, then flushed. Larissa's lips parted like she was going to speak, but nothing came out. Matthews tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back. "Don't. Just read." Nobody at the table said a word. You could hear forks being put down, wine glasses freezing midair. I let them flip through the pages in silence. Message after message, photo after photo. When they reached the last page, the one where she wrote, "She'll never know," I picked up my bag. Turns out I did. And I left. Didn't scream, didn't slam anything, didn't look back. I walked out of that restaurant like someone who'd finally stopped begging to be loved right. And the silence I left behind was louder than any scene I could have made. I didn't hear from them that night. No calls, no texts, just silence. The kind that finally felt like peace. The next morning, I blocked them both. Phone, social media, email. Everything. No goodbye. No dramatic closure. Because the truth is, they said enough already. Through every lie. Every fake smile. Every time they shared my life like it was a costume they could borrow. People asked what happened at that dinner. Some whispered. Some messaged. I didn't explain. I didn't owe anyone my pain package neatly for their curiosity. What I did do was start over. Quietly. I moved out of that apartment. Took a new job offer in another city. One that let me travel less and live more. I got new keys. New locks. New peace. And slowly, I started to breathe again. Not because I got over it, but because I stopped carrying it. The betrayal? It still stings when I think about it. But the version of me who let people in so easily, who handed out trust like candy, she doesn't live here anymore. Now I listen differently. Observe more. Love slower. But love better. Including myself. A few months later, I heard Larissa moved away. Apparently, her friend group faded. Too many people saw what she really was. Matthews tried reaching out through a mutual friend. Wanted closure. I smiled, because when people like him ask for closure, what they really want is forgiveness without accountability. And I wasn't offering that. Not anymore. This chapter is closed. I stopped waiting for apologies. I'm not who I was when this began. And the best part? They'll never get to know the woman I became after them.